you know, assessments at work. My topic today, oh, I'm sorry. Hello, my name is Siobhan Nunn, and my topic today for you is don't live a scripted life. And when I say a scripted life, it means a life that is not, that you haven't written. It's a life that others have written for you. And I am here today to talk to you about the joys of living your own life in a manner that is pleasing and not living a scripted life of someone else. I'm going to sit this here because I can't deal with it. The points I want to make to you today is I want you to take a moment to look at your life, who you are really and what you are really wanting for yourself. I want you to find your own identity. I want you to take the time to do for yourself in looking into yourself and finding out who you really are and where you're really wanting to go in life, and take the time to sit down and really tune into yourself and say, how did I get here? How can I find my way to another direction of where I want to be and not what others want me to be? What are the steps it takes to get to that point? And when you're doing your assessment of yourself, look at yourself and say, whose feelings am I hurting? Do you really care about those feelings I'm hurting? Because you're hurting your own self already. Because you're sitting here saying, oh, I'm going through 10 years of school to be a doctor for my mom. I'm going through 4 years of college because I have to be the first person to have a degree in my family. You're not doing that for you. And when you actually do those 4 years, you're never going to have a degree that you can say, I did this to become this. I'm doing this because I got to be the first one in my family to get that degree because that's what my family wants. That's not what you want. So when you're living your life, make sure you're looking at your life as to what you want to do, what's going to make you happy in your future. Because your future is yours. And you're going to sit and waste your time. Again, if you take a moment and look at my little script here, I gave a reference to Good Deeds of the movie because it did make a lot of whole points. On the movie, his narration is, his name is Wesley Deeds, and he's always been groomed by his father, he's always been groomed by his mother, and he was always told where to stand, how to dress, what kind of hairdo to wear. He never made a decision for himself until at the point of 35 plus years later, time bomb explodes. And what happens? He throws it all away, gives it all up, takes off. Because it had gotten too much, because he never was himself. Again, this is a real person. This was just a movie, but this is a real person. She was, since 3 years old, she was a beauty pageant queen. Beauty pageant queens, you know, moms have their vision of their children to be all beautiful and wonderful, and they're going to win everything. She went to those pageants, she played those pageants, she did her best in those pageants, but guess what? By 19, she was burnt out, did not want to do another pageant, cannot stand it, and her number one thing was, I was pressured by my mom. She never said she enjoyed pageanting. She said, I was pressured by my mom, and I hated pageants. But guess what? It took her 19 years to realize. 19 years of your life, think about it. If you're already at 20, 25, 19 years of your life doing something someone else wants, it's never a good thing. Never a good thing. Never a wonderful thing that you would see in your future to do. If it's in your heart to be a bicycle rider, ride that bicycle, best of your ability. If it's in your heart to be a computer technician, be a computer technician. If it's in your heart to be a football player, whether you make the cut or not, do your passion. Because in the end, only you can say, I failed at this, and not anyone else saying, oh, you failed me. Oh, I don't like the way you did it. So, in my conclusion, if I may, I'm sorry, in my conclusion, read my paper, I am a firm believer of if you took the time to search your heart and soul, you will be amazed at what you will find out about yourself. And the best day of your life is the one in which you decide that your life is your life. Thank you. Is there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Just referencing back to the young lady when she was a child, what would you suggest for little children when they don't want to do something, and it's their parent asking them to do something, even if they don't want to do it?
What I can suggest as what children can do well, it's hard to really say in a child's perspective, because a child's perspective, you're doing what mom says to do, but again, you do have children that are very defiant in their raising. They may do the pageant, but when you're off the stage, they may be very rebellious, very defiant, but they're still doing it because, in the end, mom is saying, yes, ma'am, my diligent holder, thank you. I'm sorry, did I answer your question, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay.
Back to what she was saying, but as a child, like she was saying, in a child's perspective, what they can maybe go to other adults in the family, telling them, hey, I don't like this and I don't like doing it. So maybe if they tell one of their adults in their family, maybe they can convince that parent to say, hey, listen, so and so don't like this. Why are you making this child do this? And
that is very good. That is a very good point. And they can go to other family members, because sometimes family members do not agree with what you're doing to your children, but they're kind of, as you say, forced not to say anything because it is their child. So, and again, when you're a child in the situation, and as with about 50% of this room probably would say they lived a scripted life at some point in time in their life, with their family, with their friends, with someone. They lived a brief period of a scripted life, whether it was your husband or wife, or whether it's with your mom, grandma. Me, myself, I did the same thing. My grandmother was a beautician for 52 years. Of course, girl, family, you're going to be a beautician. But I played with the doll, doing her hair. I don't even like doing my own hair. I would rather pay somebody to do my hair. I don't want to do my hair. So I knew in about when I was 10 or 14, you're playing, you're children. But as I got older, I was like, you know what? I don't do my hair. But when I voiced my opinion with my grandmother, guess what? I didn't get a good feedback, put it that way. Let's just say I'm not a beautician. I'm a teacher, because that's my passion. And my grandmother is still, yeah, you should have been, But, hey, life moves on. Yes, ma'am.
Under any circumstances, do you ever believe that living a scripted life is okay or is needed?
Do I believe in living a scripted life is okay? I wouldn't say it was ever okay. But again, dealing with children, it's perceivable only because you are a child. You can't fend for yourself. You can't do for yourself right now. But when you get older, as you get older, to be that voice for yourself, I would definitely say voice your opinion about it.
What about outside of children? Like, what if it's a troubled child that actually maybe needs some type of guidance? Do you ever feel like it would be okay just for a brief stint of time?
If it was a troubled child outside of something, yeah, I would definitely say that child can always talk to someone outside of her family, a guidance counselor at school maybe, or just a close friend, or one of your friends' mom or dad. You can always talk to someone about it. It's not doing the action of, I'm going to be rebellious, and I'm not going to run away, I'm going to run from home. But you can voice your opinion, so later on as you get older, you can say, hey, I really don't want to do this. My mom has got me going. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a two-part question. The first part of my question is, A, how do you find that thing that you want to, how do you find your path? And the next part is, how do you find a balance between doing something that you love to do and making your way, like having enough to survive? What if something you do doesn't pay your bills?
Good one. Now, first off, finding your own path. That one is a very easy perception because it's trial and error. The phrase I always use is, nothing beats a failure but a try. You never, ever will know what you're passionate about until you try. your different areas. If you
Okay.
know that you're waking up every day and you're not happy with what you're doing, you know that's not your passion. You know that's just something that you have to do to pay the bills, to speak on the other part of your question as well. You know you have to pay bills, that is a reality. Everyone knows money runs the world, unfortunately. But at the same time, don't get so involved into that career or that job that you can't come out of it. You're always looking for your passion, but at the same time, making your means need met at the same time. Because I'm doing that, well, I've been doing that for years. I was 6 years at Sears Automotive Services. I didn't want to sell batteries and tires all my life, but it paid the bills. The commission was awesome, and I loved dealing with the fact that I made my own hours.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I got an open door to do my training for my teaching certificate, I was out of there. Like, bye-bye, do so. It didn't make as much money in the beginning, but I made a way through where I wanted to be. And now I'm 15 years running preschool to school teacher. So I've achieved where I wanted to go so far, but now I want to take it up one more notch and go to primary school and become a first grade teacher. So it's doable. Time and patience, but it's doable. I would definitely say. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for your questions. You've been a great audience. And again, I tell you, please, please, please search yourself, search your soul, and do your best to go without being in a scripted lifestyle. Thank you.